and welcome to Yoga Flow on this nice Wednesday morning. It's not raining at the moment, so hopefully it will stay that way. So today we're going to do a nice flow. We're going to get into the hips a little bit of a balance challenge. So I do recommend a block or two here. If you have a little bit more experience, you can certainly get away with one block. If you're newer, I would definitely try to use two just so that you're more stable as you transition into some of the poses. And you can always use a blanket or a cushion to sit on. So coming to that nice seat, just kind of moving the hips around, getting the sits bones nice and rooted. Think about ears, shoulders, and hips in alignment. And we'll draw up from the pubic bone behind the navel, belly button into the spine. We'll take a slight tuck in the chin. And we'll begin to come into our practice. So as we begin to turn inward, take a moment. Do you have anywhere that could soften just a little bit more? So maybe soften a little bit more through the face. Maybe the shoulders. For me, I already feel it. That's going to be the hips because I have a tendency to grip a little bit. So I'm just going to take that, relax through there. And then bring the awareness to the breath. So as you inhale through the nose, can you find some expansion in the rib cage? And then through the mouth or the nose, your choice, carefully exhale. Good. We'll inhale and expand again. And this time on the exhale, as you slowly exhale, see if you can think about finding a little bit more length from crown to tail. One more time, big inhale and expand. Pause and hold. And slowly exhale that out. Good. From here, palms to the side, turning up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach, and lengthen, maybe even looking up at those hands. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. So you can create an intention for your practice of your own. What would you like to give or receive? Maybe you want to dedicate this practice to someone or something. Or today, in my county, is the first day of school. So your intention can also be for a joyous first day back to school for kids, teachers, and staff. And then from here, when you're ready, inhale, reach and lengthen. Maybe look up once more. And exhale, grow taller from crown to tail as you bring those arms down. Good, big inhale, reach and lengthen. I'm gonna take a side bend to my left. Try to keep shoulders and hips in alignment as I take this side bend. And I'm gonna really reach with that top arm. And I wanna try and find some expansion through here when I inhale. Good. Now from here, you choose, you can stay where you are. You always have the option to come out of here. You can side bend deeper so long as sits bones are rooted. Or maybe you would rather open that heart towards the ceiling, getting a little bit more of a stretch through the chest. Maybe you would rather take belly button into the spine, getting a C-curve roll, forehead in the direction of that knee but not touching. Wherever you go, can you expand that breath as you breathe? And then from here, when you're ready, inhale and lengthen. Exhale, use your obliques, your side abs as you come all the way up. Reach. And exhale, take that right into the other side. You're maybe already noticing you have a tighter side or a more open side. Breathe and expand. So I went a little bit more forward of that. I'm just going to make an adjustment. Shoulders and hips in alignment. And then you choose staying here. Maybe coming outer side, bending deeper. Maybe you'd like to open up towards that ceiling. or maybe a C curve roll. Forehead in the direction of the knee, but not touching. Breathe and expand. Good, and then from here, inhale and lengthen. Exhale again, use those side abs to come all the way up. Turning the palms away, grow taller from crown to tail. Good. So we're gonna start to go ahead and move the spine a little bit here. So let's go ahead and go into a body weight. So I'm gonna take my arms out to the side. Big inhale. Exhale, I'm gonna C curve and around forward. Now inhale, I'm gonna press away and open. Exhale, inhale. This is how I like to breathe here. But at the end of the day, the only wrong way to breathe is not breathing at all. So if you need a different breath pattern as you move, then take the breath pattern that works for you. Good. Now, you can stay with this slower pace, or if you want to pick it up a little bit, you can. Maybe with a smile. Good, and I'm gonna exhale and run forward. I'm gonna clasp my hands and press away. Maybe even see curving a little bit. And then from here, I'm gonna come up. I'm gonna take my hands behind. So you can let your hands rest right on the top of the hips if you like. You can clasp them together behind you. You can press down, or maybe you want to roll those shoulders back, lifting the hands behind you. So just so you have an idea, here's what I'm doing. Good. Now, ideally, you want your whole hands to come together, but that's not where I am at the moment. And considering I couldn't do this not that long ago, I'm going to take this as a win. Good. And then from here, carefully release. And I'm just going to roll my wrist out here. Good. So as we go into the twisties, we're going to do this as a more dynamic movement. I'm going to take my hands behind my head, and I'm pressing my head into the hands, not hands into the head. Your elbows can come out to wherever they're comfortable. And then from here, nice and tall, always when you go into a twist. I'm going to twist to my left. I'm going to inhale and exhale to my right. Inhale, exhale. You can keep eyes open or closed. Inhale, exhale. Keep it slow, or you can speed this up. Careful if you're speeding up, you're not cranking through the spine, and you still want to stay through the breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good, and if you went a little bit quicker, start to slow that down, but stay with that breath. Maybe relax to the shoulders. Good, and then when you feel okay, coming back to center, taking the hands down and then back to heart center, just reconnecting with your breath and that energy. Okay, we're gonna move forward into all fours, the tabletop position. So always cushion the knees or your wrist as you need to. And I'm gonna spread my fingers nice and wide, rooting through knuckles of pinky, pointer, and thumb. And for today, I'm gonna take my hands slightly wider than shoulder width apart. So my knees are under, they're slightly behind my hips. And again, for today, I'm gonna take them slightly wider than hip width apart. Now, slightly wider than hip width apart might feel good to some of you anyway on a regular day. If you've got some back issues, so just know that's always available. Tops of the feet are down. Belly button is in. Going right into some basic cat-cows. Inhale on the cow. So I'm shining my heart forward, tipping my pelvis back. Exhale, really round into cat. And inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. Now, you can stay at this steady pace, especially if you're more of a beginner. But some of us are going to speed this up a little bit here. So the breath is the same. Inhale, exhale, inhale,
exhale,
inhale,
exhale,
inhale,
exhale,
inhale,
exhale,
inhale, exhale, round, round, round. Good, and then from here, as I continue to round, I'm just going to kind of sink back, taking hips back towards the heels. And then not quite dynamic cat-cow flow, so you might or might not touch forearms to the ground. I'm just going to move forward right into that cow and round. So kind of think about a nice body wave, a circular motion, if you will. Moving to the rhythm of your body and your breath. So don't worry so much about form here. As long as you feel good, you're good. Move with breath. We're just focusing on movement. Good, and then from here as you round, finishing up your last one, find a child's pose. Knees can be as wide as the mat, together or somewhere in between. Arms can be long in front of you. If your shoulders don't like that, you can take your hands back by the ankles. So find what works for you. Make it an active child's pose. So can you draw up from the pubic bone behind the navel or belly button into the spine? Can you keep with expansion in the rib cage as you inhale? My arms are forward for my child's pose and I'm pressing in slightly into my mat. That will not feel good to everyone, so be kind to yourself. And then from here, when you're ready, inhale, look forward, moving forward. Good. We're going to go right into a downward facing dog. So if you're shorter, like yours truly, you're probably fine right where you are, tucking your toes and lifting up. If you're taller, take about a half a hand's width or full hand's width forward. And when you're ready, with a tuck of those toes, just lift the knees and shift. Keep the knees bent for the moment. Look down at your feet. Ideally here you want hips, knees, ankles, and toes facing forward. Can you press evenly into big toe and pinky toe mounds? Can you press in and forward into your hands, rooting through knuckles and pinky pointer and thumb? Can shoulders be in their pockets? Can elbows turn inward slightly? Can belly button be in and head and neck free? You might choose to stay here. You might choose to lengthen those legs a little bit. You might choose to walk a dog, bending one knee, lengthening one leg. Maybe you want to come high on the toes and drop the heels. Maybe you're discovering you need to come in or step out just a little bit more for your down dog. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And then from here, find some stillness if you took movement. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees. We're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. Good. So get into all four corners of the feet, pressing the big toe, pinky toe, both sides of the heels. And I'm just going to dangle here for a moment. If you want to grab opposite elbow, you can. Just getting some nice traction down the back. From here, I'm going to release my elbows. Inhale, I'm going to lift and lengthen halfway, flat spine. Exhale, and we'll bow. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, and we'll bow. Inhale, root through the feet, engage through the glutes, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center, finding breath, mountain, intention. Good. And when you're ready, we're going to take a field trip right to the top of the mat. Good. So feet can be a little bit, maybe hip width apart here, maybe a little bit closer together if you have more experience, that's fine. Big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, hinge and fold. You always come to blocks if you can't touch the floor. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, and bow. Inhale, root through the feet, engage the glutes, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, and we'll lift. Exhale, hinge from the hips, and we'll fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, and bow. Planting the hands, stepping back into a plank pose. So remember your plank, You can be up high here, or maybe knees need to come down. Find yours. Wherever you're choosing to work, can you press that mat away? Rooting into knuckles and pinky, pointer, and thumb, maybe a little bit more into the pointer and the thumb. Can you take the heart up into the shoulder blades? Belly button is in. Those of you that are in high plank, if you tend to be a flower, and for the chaturanga, you can shift forward slightly, try not to collapse the shoulders and lower down. So I'm going to keep my knees lower here, and I'm going to carefully lower down, trying not to collapse as I go all the way down to my mat. Good. I'm just going to move this out of the way for time being. I'm going to take my hands a little forward into the side, drawing up from pubic bone behind the navel, belly button in, pubic bone into the mat, relax the shoulders. Good. Maybe finding a baby cobra here. So you know you're up too high if there's any crunching in the spine. So if you feel crunching, come down. If you feel okay, maybe you can pick up your hands and arms here. True cobra. Taking hands down and lower. Lengthen, 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 belly button in, pubic bone into the mat. Maybe you choose another baby cobra. Maybe you can come up a little higher. So, careful not to hang in the back here. So I'm not hanging in the back here. This is what that looks like. So you can kind of see that difference. So be supported. And I don't want my shoulders to be up here by the ears. I want them to be back in their pockets. And then we'll lower back down. Lengthen, 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 belly button in, pubic bone into the mat. Find a baby cobra, a medium cobra, maybe a high cobra. So all the other little cueing details that I gave before still apply here. Some of you may want to look up just a little bit, but not extreme. Just enough where you can take your eyes, your gaze, right to where your ceiling and the wall meet. And then from here, we'll lower that back down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Stronger, more experienced yogis can tuck the toes, push up into a plank, and shift back to down dog. Everyone else will tuck the toes, follow me through a tabletop position, lifting the knees, and finding a downward facing dog. Take some good breaths here. And when you're ready, inhale, look forward, bend the knees, walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, roll out. Inhale, root, engage, and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center, finding breath, mountain, intention. Good. We're going to go through 2 sun salute A's, a little bit more traditional, a little bit more faster pace. So remember, when you get back to the plank, you choose. Drop into child's pose, shift back down dog. And then take or skip that vinyasa flow. Any back bend of your choice, it's in your practice is fine. You will see me modify mine. So you're welcome to follow me with those if you would like. The big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, plant the hands. Step or hop back to plank pose. You choose. Take or skip your flow. This is my modified flow. You're rehabbing a shoulder and a hand. So you have to do different things, but you don't have to give up on your whole practice. Good. Once you come to your downward facing dog, inhale, look forward, bend the knees, walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, root, engage, and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale when we lift. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, plant the hands, step or hop back to plank. You choose. Take or skip a flow. Good. Take some good breaths once you make it back to your downward facing dog. Can you still expand that rib cage? Good. Come back to your intention or maybe that joy of the first day of school. And then from down dog, inhale, look forward, bend those knees. Walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, root, engage, and rise. Exhale, hands to heart center, finding breath. Mountain, intention, maybe soft knees, soft tailbone, soft heart. We're going to start to prepare the hips here for some deeper work. So big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale and we'll fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, roll back. Inhale, step or hop back to plank. You choose, take or skip your flow. And I'm going to skip my flow on this one. Remember, flowing is always optional. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people shouldn't do it depending on what's going on. So always listen to your body. If it doesn't feel good, then we don't do it. So from here, we're going to start by taking that left leg back, 3 point. I'm going to bend my left knee. I'm going to keep a strong, even upper body as I open to the left and then close center. Nice tight core because you're going into some rotation. Open to the left and close center. Open to the left and close center. On this next one, open to the left. You can stay here. You can twirl an ankle. You can circle that hip, or maybe you want to open it a little bit more. Maybe looking under the right arm as you give yourself a wave with that left foot. So core is nice and tight here. And then from here, we're going to do kind of a swingy step. So I'm going to come out of here. My core is nice and tight. I'm evening up my hips. I'm rounding as I step or pick up and put that left foot forward between the hands. Bring blocks in here for stability if you need them. Right knee's going to come down. Make sure that knee is behind the hip, not directly underneath it. Your kneecap won't like you. You can stay here. This is the stability you need, or this is enough for you in the hip flexor. Some of you are going to come up. Good. And then maybe come into a little bit of a deeper back bend, deeper hip flexor opener. My front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. You can stay here. Maybe you want to just open to the side. Stay with the breath. And we'll reach and we'll lengthen as we take our path to the mat. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, front foot steps back. You choose, take or skip a flow. Maybe hang out down dog or come to a child's pose. Good. We're going to do that all to the other side. So now my right leg's going to lift 3 point, bending that knee, strong even upper body. I'm going to open to the right and close center. Open to the right and close center. Open to the right and close center. And then from here, we'll open to the right. You can stay here, twirling an ankle, circling that hip. Maybe opening a little bit more. Maybe give yourself a wave as you look under that left arm. Stay with breath, stay with intention. And then when you're ready, we're going to do that swing through with the foot. So as you take your hips back even to the floor, round, step, or pick up and put your right foot forward between the hands. Left knee's going to ground down behind the hip, hopefully not underneath it. And when you're ready, you can choose to stay down here, or you can come up. And if you're coming up, maybe you can reach. Everybody's front hip will come back a little bit, back hip will come forward. You can choose to stay here. You can open up again like we did on the other side. Or maybe you want to take the hands around, clasping, pressing and opening, your choice. And when you're ready, carefully release, reach. Take that path to the mat, plant the hands, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, front foot steps back. You choose. take or skip a flow. Noticing how right and left side are starting to feel. And when you're ready, inhale, look forward, bend those knees. Walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, move out. Inhale, root through the feet, engage the glutes, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Finding breath, mountain, and tension. We're going to take the arms up. So I've got this little, you might not see with the video, but I've got this little temple mudra here going on. I'm reaching. I'm drawing up and in. My feet are about hip width apart here. Good. And I'm just going to get a tick-tock to side. And just kind of notice any stretchies that you feel down the back low side here. And you're going to get a side stretch here too, but just kind of notice that area. Good. Coming back up, we're going to go into a more traditional Sensu Loop B, and then we're going to go into a different variation. So reach. I'm going to sit back into my chair pose. So my feet are still parallel, hip width apart. Those of you with a little bit more experience can step the feet closer together or together. You choose. Forgot to say that before we came into the chair. So find your heels. Find your glutes. You should be able to look down and see the toes and wiggle those toes. Good. So start to feel the burn in the glutes and the legs. Stay with the breath. Inhale. Exhale, and we're going to fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, move out. Inhale, step or hop back to plank pose. You choose. Take or skip that flow. From the downward facing dog, when you're ready, left leg's going to lift 3-point, bending that knee round as you step or kick up and put the left foot forward between the hands. Use blocks to help you with stability if you need them. Warrior prepping the back foot. Heel's going to swing in. Toes are going to swing out. Heel to heel, heel to arch. We're taking this leg out wider. Find stability as you rise, pressing to the back edge of that back foot. And I already know I need to come out wider here. Front hip will come back hip will come forward. Hip, knee, and toe of this front leg are parallel. Look down. Is your toe turning inward? Is it turning outward? Can you correct that alignment? Maybe one day shoulders and hips can come into alignment for you. You're in a standing back bend here. Inhale. Exhale, reach and lengthen as you take that path back to the mat. Swivel up back foot. Front foot steps back. You choose. Take or skip a flow. Good. Whenever you're ready, we're going to take that all to the other side. Right leg's going to lift 3-point, bending that knee. Round as you step or pick up and put that foot forward between the hands. Again, use blocks for stability. I'm going to swing in that back heel. Toes are going to go out to the side. Heel to arch are a little bit wider. Rise into your warrior one. Front hip will come back a little bit, back hip will come forward. And notice if you need a little bit of a different alignment on this side than the other side. That's true for me. Watch your alignment. So always when the front knee is bent, when we're up like this, you should be able to see that front toe, and if you can't, that foot needs to be more forward. The knee doesn't want to come forward of the ankle here. Inhale, exhale, lengthen and reach. Planting hands, swiveling up back foot, front foot steps back. You choose. Take or skip that flow. Whenever you're ready, inhale, look forward, bend those knees. Walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale to bow. From this bow, we're going to sit back into that chair pose right where we started. Finding glutes. Finding those legs. Coming back to that intention. A joyous first day of school, or whatever you set for your own. Inhale, exhale, coming out of there. Release, zip up through the front body, finding a standing back bend. And then from here, exhale, come back, hands heart center. Good. So from here, I am going to, we're going to do that again. So, or similarly to that. So we're going to start back into the chair pose. So again, if you're newer or you need a wider base of support, hips, knees, and toes will track in that alignment. More experience, feet can be closer together or together. You choose. I'm going to do together in this one. So from here, I'm going to inhale and reach. Exhale, I'm going to sit back into my chair pose again. Good. And I'm drawing up and in. I'm relaxing through the shoulders. And we're going to come into a prayer twist here. So for this prayer twist, I will take my hands to prayer, but I'm going to maybe come a little bit deeper. I'm going to lengthen a little bit more through my torso. And big inhale. Exhale, I'm going to twist to my right. Maybe this elbow comes to the outside of the thigh. Maybe it doesn't. Can you open that right shoulder a little bit more to the right? Look down at your knees for a moment. Did the left knee come forward? If it did, can you take that left hip back? You want them to be even here. Now, you can stay here. Those that have a little bit more experience in depth, you can expand long. You can wrap. You can find your chair bind. That won't be true for everyone. Inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Let's rise, getting out of there. Again, maybe we can zip up, finding the standing back bends. And then inhale. Exhale, lengthening, finding our prayer chair. So I'm building a little bit of heat here. I hope you are too. So before we go to that other side again, maybe you can sink a little bit deeper into those hips and heels. Maybe you can lengthen a little bit more through the torso, and then maybe taking that twist to the left. Can you roll that left shoulder back? Can you look down? If the right knee came forward, take the right hip back. And again, those options, some of you are going to stay in prayer. Maybe you lengthen, maybe you wrap. Find yours. Inhale, exhale, come out of the prayer, and we're going to hold. So my feet were together. I'm going to step them just a little bit apart. We're going to come into a toe balance here. I strongly recommend a block or two to help you, at least on the initial descent. But from here, a hand on the blocks, hands on the floor. I'm just going to kind of come forward. I'm going to lift my heels. I'm coming onto the balls of the feet. And I'm slowly finding the squat. Some of you with knee issues might not be able to come here, and that's okay. So you can leave your hands grounded, or you can play with balance. Lifting up, long torso. Whew. And then from here, maybe hands come back to blocks or to the floor. I'm just going to hinge forward. I'm going to kind of lift or lengthen my legs as my heels come down and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale and bow. Plant the hands, step or hop back to plank pose. You choose, take or skip a flow. From your downward facing dog, left leg lifts 3-point, bending that knee, we're gonna round. Step or pick up and put that left foot forward between the hands. We're gonna warrior prep this back foot, heel to heel arch a little bit wider. We're gonna rise into a warrior two. Use blocks to help you with stability as you come up if you need them. Good. So my front hip's gonna come back hip's gonna come forward. That's gonna help that front knee tracking towards the pinky toe. I'm pressing through the back edge of the back foot. Maybe one day shoulders and hips can come into alignment for you. Can you pick up your toes? Good. Palms towards the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, I'm going to lengthen and reach. And come back. Watch that knee track. We'll do it again. Second time. Good. Third time. Pause on this time. Good. You can lengthen the front knee or keep it bent. And I'm going to come back into exalted. And I'm not shifting my hips when I come back here. Some people like to bind, some people like to arm wrap. Do what you need to do here. Inhale. Exhale, finding warrior two. I'm going to clasp my hands. We're going to come into a humble warrior here. Good, so I'm going to press down. I'm going to roll my shoulders back and lift. I'm pressing into both feet as I hinge forward with length. Coming down. If you need to undo your hands and take a hand to the floor for support, take hands to the floor for support. And whenever you're ready, getting into the feet, getting into the legs, carefully come back up. I'm going to lengthen that front leg, releasing the hands, taking it back, modified, exalted. And when you're ready, I'm just going to come up here. Good. So now I'm in a good position for a triangle. Sort of a good position for triangle. So I'm actually going to bring my back leg in a little bit because I have a tendency to be too wide. So from here, if you're going to use a block in this one, take the block on the outside of your left foot or whatever foot that you have forward. Front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. I'm rooting into my feet. I'm keeping the front knee soft and unlocked. When I can come no more at the long torso, hand can come to a thigh, the shin, I block the floor. And I'm going to open to my right. Think about a stacking of the shoulders here. Maybe you can look up towards the ceiling here. Good. Looking down at that front foot, putting a bend in that front knee, flowing back to exalted for a moment, and then flowing through a warrior two. Cartwheeling it down. Swivel up back foot, front foot steps back. You choose. Take or skip a float here. Noticing again how do right and left sides feel. Good. Now those of you watching at home, you are fine. You're right where you are. I am going to turn around just so that my rear end is not facing you when we do the other side. So from your downward facing dog, right leg's going to lift 3-point, bending that knee. We're going to round, step, or pick up and put that foot forward between the hands. Warrior pregnant for warrior two. Heel to heel, heel to arch, or a little bit wider. Use blocks for stability if you need to. Rise. Warrior two. Good. Front hip will come back hip will come forward. Relax the shoulders. Can you still draw up from pubic bone to behind the navel or belly button into the spine? Good. Coming back to that intention for a moment. Joyous first day of school or your own. Palms towards the ceiling. We're going to lengthen and reach, maybe looking up there. And come back, warrior two. And lengthen and reach. And come back, warrior two. One more time. Reach, reach, reach. Find warrior two. Good. With the bent front knee or a lengthened front leg, we're going to take it back into exalted. Try not to shift the hips. If you did an arm wrap or an arm bind at this point on the other side, maybe find something similar here. Good. Inhale. Exhale, finding warrior two. Coming into humble warrior. Hands are going to come behind. You can leave them there. You can clasp them. You can press them down. You can open, 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 and lift. Maybe lengthening, hinging forward, coming on the inside. Some of you might have to release and put a hand down for support. That's okay. Good. And when you're ready, getting into the feet, coming all the way back up, lengthen that front leg, release the hands, find exalted, or modified version of exalted. Good. And then I'm going to come back up here, preparing for triangle on the side. Find a different alignment if you need it. Front foot's going to come back, it's going to come forward, press to that back heel. Reach, reach, reach. When you can come no more with length, this is not a forward fold. Come to a thigh, a shin, a block, or the floor, and we're opening. Think about front hip coming back hip coming forward if you lost that in transition. Good, and then looking down at that front foot, putting a bend in that front knee, finding warrior two, moving all the way back. Exalted, flowing through warrior two, flowing it down. Think about hands to the floor, swiveling up that foot, front foot steps back. You choose, take or skip that flow. Noticing how you feel. And whenever you're ready, big inhale, look forward, bend those knees, walk, step, or hop your feet forward to meet your hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale and bow. From the bow, we're going to sit back into that chair pose where we started this set. And when we're ready, we'll come all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center, finding breath, mountain, and tension. Good. So from here, we're going to prepare a little bit deeper for our balance challenge, which is going to be a revolved half moon. So we're going to prep for that by coming into a pyramid and revolved triangle. So at least one block, preferably two, just in case you need them. So I'm going to make sure that my block is on the outside of my right foot. Since I'm facing this way, I'll just do my right side first. So my right foot is forward. Good. I'm going to set my left foot back. Two options. You do want the back heel to be down. So you can be parallel railroad track here. So front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. Or I think it's a little bit more challenging. You can swing in that back heel. So your toe's going to go out. So you're at an angle now with that back foot. Same before. Front hip's going to come back hip's going to come forward. I like a heel to heel alignment more here. And then I'm going to hinge forward, keeping softness in the knee. I'm going to reach. You might come to blocks. You might be able to go ahead and come to the floor, and that's okay too. So if you're using one block, you can be here. Two blocks, you can be here. Any height, because blocks have 3 heights. As you get settled in, reminder, front hip comes back hip comes forward. We're keeping a long torso. As your front hamstring kind of settles in, if it will let you, you can continue to fold forward. Good. From here, I've been to a deeper fold, so I'm going to lift and lengthen halfway. Good. So for revolved triangle, I'm going to take my left block forward. You have a couple options. You can keep a block or a hand on the outside of your right foot, or you can take it on the inside. Inside is going to be a little bit easier. Outside is going to be a little bit harder, so be mindful of that when you choose to go where you're going to go. So before we even open, go ahead and think about front hip coming back hip coming forward, belly button in. Left hand is going to come to the inside or the outside of that foot, and I'm going to open towards my right. I'm still rooting my feet in here. Good. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to come out of that. Good. I'm going to leave this block where it is. I'm going to take my left hand, reaching towards the floor or for my block, putting a bend in my right knee. I'm going to lift that left leg. Both hips, my left knee, left toes are facing the floor, and I'm going to open again to the right. Now, your supporting leg, hip, knees, and toes are facing forward. Can you press a little bit more into the heel? Can you find a little bit more lift in that right hip? It makes a difference when you're not hanging down in there. And yes, it is more challenging, but you're going to get more benefit here over time. Inhale, exhale. Hands can come down to blocks or the floor, you choose. Maybe you want to go into a standing split pose. Again, can you lift up out of hanging in the hip? The closer you take your hands to your heels, the harder you make this. I'm going to stay right here though. And then when you're ready, that left foot's going to come up to meet the right. Even the weight in the hips and the feet. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Woo. Exhale, and bow. Inhale, root, engage, and rise, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Notice that big difference in the right or left side, or I'm getting a big difference here anyway. Good. And when you're ready, we're going to take that to the other side. So I'm just going to move to the other side of my mat here. Good. So same as before. This time your left leg's going to be your front leg. You have the option to go to parallel railroad tracks, hip, knees, and toes all facing forward. Or you can swing in that back heel. Good. So going into pyramid here first. Ensure I'm heel to heel. Good. Front hip's going to come back. Back hip's going to come forward. Belly button is in. I'm going to hinge forward, keeping that front knee soft. You're reaching for blocks or the floor. Go where you need to go. Keep length in the torso. Good. And then as your hamstring will permit you, keeping length, you're welcome to fold in a little bit deeper. Good. I'm gonna lift. From here, I'm just gonna take my right block forward and then choose where you decide to go for revolved triangle. So you can take your block or your hand on the outside of the foot. Remember, that's going to be a little bit more challenging. Or you'll take your block or your hand on the inside of the foot, and that's going to be a little bit less challenging. So from here, taking where you're going to go here, I'm going to take my right hand inside or outside of that foot, and making sure my front hip is back hip is forward because they weren't. I'm going to open towards my left. Rooting my feet in. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to come out of that rotation. I'm going to reach with my right hand for my right block, coming forward, putting a bend in that left knee. Good. Maybe your other block needs to come forward too, a little bit here. Good. So both hips are going to face the ground. Toes, knee, and hip of that right leg now are facing the ground. Can you press into that left heel coming out of hanging in that left hip? Left hip, knee, and toe face forward. And then maybe you open again to the left. Revolved half moon. And then when you're ready, I'm going to take both hands down. You can find blocks or the floor. Good. Standing split pose. The closer the hands are to the heel, the harder it is. Once again, can you press up out of hanging in that left hip? Notice the difference that it makes. And then when you're ready, your right foot's going to come up to meet the left. Shift that weight evenly into both sides. Big inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, and bow. Inhale, root, engage, and rise. Woo. Exhale, hands to heart center. Finding breath. Mountain intention. So my hips are feeling nice and noodly. Hope yours are too. We're going to come down and stay down. So from the top of the mat, big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, and bow. Inhale, plant the hands. Step or hop back to plank pose. You choose. Take or skip a flow. I'm going to hang out right here and down dog. Good. We're going to go into our beloved pigeon pose. So left leg's going to lift 3-point, bending that knee round. Left knee comes behind that left wrist. And we're just gonna work ourselves down here. Now I have no space under that left hip, so it's safe for me to come all the way down. If you have a lot of space under there and you cannot fill that in with a pillow, blanket, or what have you, then I would like for you to come onto your back. You'll cross your left ankle over your right knee for a figure 4. Exact same hip rotation. It's just less intense on the joints and it's safer because you don't have a floating joint. So find what works best for your body. If you're belly down, pigeon, weight is through center. Inhale, exhale, carefully come up. If you went onto your back, carefully roll over, make your way to your down dog. Everyone else that went belly down, tuck the back toe, woo, lift, shifting that left foot back. If you'd like a real quick belly down vinyasa here, feel free to flow through a plank and take that. Otherwise, going into the other side. Right leg lifts 3-point, bending that knee, round. Right knee comes behind the right wrist. If you need to come onto your back, you'll take that right ankle over your left knee for figure 4. So again, you can see it better on this side. I have no space under here. So you can stay up, you can come down, find yours. And whenever you're ready, if you're on your back, carefully make your way back to a downward facing dog. If you went belly down with that pigeon, tuck the back toe, lift and shift. Final belly down vinyasa flow if you want it. Otherwise, when you're ready, we're going to shift forward, drop those knees, finding a juicy child's pose. Knees as wide as the mat, or somewhere in between, you choose. And then whenever you're ready, carefully coming up, and we're going to have a seat. So I'm going to take my legs forward in front. Good. I'm just going to move the flesh out of the way of the sit bones. Good. Feet and legs can be together or a little bit wider apart. So you kind of choose here, soft knees. Think about an anterior tilt of the pelvis as well. So tailbone comes behind, hip bone drop forward. Big inhale, reach nice and tall. Exhale, I'm going to hinge from the hips and then I'm going to fold forward. Soft knees. Breathe into that back body. Soften through the face. And inhale, look forward. Exhale, coming back up. Good. From here, I'm going to take my hands behind, and we're going to do one little core exercise. Some of you are going to keep your hands back here for support, maybe lifting the knees in tabletop or a long diagonal line. You choose where you want to be here. Some of us are going to release. Think about the long spine. So I'm not kind of rounding. I want to be nice and long here. Belly button is in. And we're breathing, breathing, breathing. And when you're ready, carefully take those feet down. Take them forward, fold forward, and then maybe roll it all the way down. As you come all the way down, knees into the chest. Rock side to side. We'll do one basic bridge here. So I'm going to take my feet down, hips, knees, and toes are going to track. Rolling the shoulders back, big inhale, exhale, pressing evenly to the feet, lifting the hips up. Your body will let you know when you should not come up any higher. If you would like something a little bit extra here, you can come up onto the toes. If you went onto the toes, you can lower the heels. And one vertebra at a time, starting from the mid-back, carefully lowering back down. Think about lengthening a little bit more each time you lower. Knees are going to come into the chest. I'm going to give you an option for a twist here. I'm going to keep my knees into the chest today as I twist. You can always come to the traditional tabletop position. So for me, when I take my knees in closer to the chest, I feel the twist a little bit higher up on the spine versus when they're here. So you kind of make your own judgment call as to what you need, what's best for your body. Arms out to the side. Inhale, exhale. I'm going to let those knees come over towards my right, maybe looking to my left. Breathe and expand. We'll take that head back to center. One leg at a time, or using your abs to bring those knees back in. And when you're ready, just go right into the other side. Maybe looking to the right. Breathe and expand. Head back to center, one leg at a time, or using your abs to bring the knees back in. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle here. And we're going to go into a short savasana. So you can let everything come long and fluff open. You can put a bend in the knees. You can be on your side. You can be on your belly. You choose where you want. I'm going to bring my blanket back in here for a little neck pillow. Good. And I'll leave you here for a few moments. Taking some deep breaths here. Choose stillness, or gently take head and neck from side to side. Choose stillness, or invite movement of fingers and toes. Choose stillness, or knees can come into the chest. Choosing to keep the upper body lowered or maybe lifted into a full body hug. And choosing stillness, or moving any props out of the way if you used any for your Shavasana time. Taking arms long behind you, legs long in front of you, and reach and lengthen from the edge of the fingertips, the edge of the toes. Full body stretch, point and flex through the feet. Bend and stretch through the hands, twirling wrists and ankles in one direction, and then in the other. And then from here, whenever you're ready, carefully bend in both knees, and you choose rolling over onto your right or left side, the side that works best for you in this moment. Taking a moment to pause and reflect. And when you're ready, coming back up to a sit, seat. Use proper English there. Come back to a seat. And then maybe finding a comfortable seat, the same one you started with or a little bit of a different one. Ears, shoulders, and hips. Noticing how you feel now versus when you started your practice. Fingertips to the side, palms turning up. Inhale, reach, 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 and lengthen, touching palms together. Exhale, hands in the heart center. Reconnecting with that intention that you made at the beginning of class. One more time. The one you chose, or a joyous first day of school for children, staff, and teachers. And maybe parents too. And we'll take thumbs to forehead for good and true thoughts. To our lips for good and kind words. And to our hearts for open and loving hearts. Knowing no effort on this mat is ever wasted, no gain is ever reversed. May you be safe, may you stay well, may you have a wonderful day and week ahead. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me with this Yoga Flow class. Feel free to reach out to me at any time if you have any questions or would like to see something again. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.